Hey guys, Jake from Fast Not Loud. Today I'm going to be fixing the radiator in the Jag, and we'll get to why it needs fixing later. But I've just got back from the shop, got a propane torch and some non-electrical solder. I'm not exactly sure what makes this non-electrical, other than what it says on the box. 60% lead, 40% tin, melting point 460 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 automotive radiators, sheet metal, and tools. Well, I'm doing an automotive radiator made out of sheet metal, and I am a tool, so I guess that's just perfect. I've also got regular lighter for lighting the big thing, and this for reasons. So let's get started. All right, it is a gorgeous 70 degrees out here, and what we're dealing with here is, to put it simply, idiocy. Mine, in fact, because I broke my radiator. So, cut back to last year, I got this Ford Taurus fan from a junkyard. It's from a V6, early 90s. Excellent, excellent option for swaps and such, where you want to run an electric fan and you're on a budget. And as you can see here, I held it in with zip ties going through the radiator. And let's see here, that out. And that had predictable results because I forgot about it. The engine blew. Oops. I guess that was only held on with that. The engine, shortly after putting this in, bottom end went out, and I completely forgot about this nonsense here. And at that time, I actually had the new mounts, just hadn't put them in yet, yada yada. So now it's got a big old hole in it somewhere in there, and the idea here is to try and solder that hole if I can find it. We shall see. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to fire this up for the first time in a couple weeks. See if I can figure out exactly where that water is leaking from. Okay. Nothing yet. Alright, so I think I've pretty obviously identified my leak there. It smells freaking great. I can feel my my brain cells dying. And yeah, it's just broken right through the passage there where the water travels. I'm guessing it was weakened. I mean, this is an old radiator. It's 40 years old now. So I think the reason that actually broke, I mean, the zip tie is going through it, but it's also like 8 veins apart, so it was pulling them together and it just ripped it out. But anyways, there we go. Oh my gosh, it's flowing so nice. Wow. So I'm just going to take the welding approach to this. The bigger the blob, the better the job. Okay, so I don't think that's quite enough to close that off. So I'm going to go back and give that quite a bit more solder, but it's a good start if nothing else. All right. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of solder all up in there. There we go. So I guess I'll go give the car a start again. Make sure that is all the way off to the right. And see if that works. So I'm gonna give that another 5 minutes, 10 minutes of idling because it's got to get back up to pressure and whatnot. All right, and there it is. I just finished running it for about 15 minutes. I let it get a little bit on the warm side, let it build some pressure, and it still didn't leak anything, so I think that's pretty good. I'm just going to zip tie that back through there since this row isn't going to be doing anything now that it's blocked off with solder. There's not really any danger of it leaking again on this side. This is the downstream side, I believe. The way that this radiator works is you've got these two high pressure hoses coming from the water pump. Just got some in my mouth. Gross. Anyway, on the V12 you had one coming off of each head into here. That one comes in, and those first 7 or so rows come over, empty into this tank and go down. This comes into this tank, goes down, and then goes through the bottom half of the radiator, and then it exits down there. Oh, it goes to the reservoir and it goes to the bottom of the water pump. Anyways, so that nonsense is here. This really should be replaced with a 3rd gen Camaro radiator, which is pretty much exact same dimensions. Only thing you got to do is take a hole saw right here so you can get to the filler cap, and it doesn't have this nonsense over here. So here's something strange that these have, and you can see here that this is actually leaking a little bit. It's just got a whole bunch of pinholes, and you can actually hear it venting pressure. So I definitely know it was up to pressure. I'm not really going to try soldering this because it's in a really awkward place and a bit crap anyways, but this is actually all pressurized, the whole overflow tank and everything, and you got the cap and the purge. But yeah, anyways, once it's done burning off all of the spilled nastiness, I'm gonna call that a day. That was very productive. I'm very glad that worked out. The car still runs, started right up. Unfortunately, I am gonna have to sell or trade. I'd like to get another motorcycle since my last one got stolen, unfortunately, right as I finished rebuilding this engine. But I'm moving to a apartment complex that is absolutely fantastic, but I can't have a project car there. And unfortunately, at this stage in my life, other things are more important than having a project car, so Jag's gonna have to go, and maybe in 20 years I can revisit this whole idea. A buddy of mine just sent me a picture of a neighbor of him who has an LS one of these, not 20 miles from here. I'd love to go check that out sometime, take a look at it, poke around. But yep, and that is one soldered radiator, and this was done with $30 exactly. This propane and this $30 at O'Reilly's could probably be got for way cheaper on Amazon, and yeah, super easy. If you can find the leak, you can fix the leak, as long as it's not plastic in tanks.